Weekend of rugby union ahead. It is the semi-finals of both the European Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup. Here to look ahead to that is Wales defence coach and two-time European champion as a coach with Wasps, Shaun Edwards. Shaun, lovely to have you with us as always. Let's start off with the defending champions, Toulon. This game live on Sky. Now, no team have won Europe's top competition 3 times in a row. So do you think they have the right ingredients within their squad this time?
Yes, they do. They've got size. They've got speed, they've got power, but what they also got, they're absolutely brilliant at the breakdown, both in attack and defence. And you know, you just see the pictures here. This is a good example of their power. Bastero just blasting over the top of the Wasp defenders, carrying 2 guys on his back. That's what they can do. This is another example how they can play with width. Lovely hands, brilliant play from Gito, and Ali Williams, a world-class second row forward, scores in the corner. So they've got their whole bag of tricks.
Yeah, and they also have Stefan Armitage, 18 turnovers in the tournament. Lots of debate over whether he'll be in England's World Cup squad. But do you think this game is going to be decided amongst the back row? Potentially, yes. And let's be honest, what 2 back rows you've got. And I'm just so much looking forward to Armitage versus O'Brien, 2 of the best exponents in world rugby. And sometimes because Armitage is so good in defence, you forget how good an attacking player is as well. He scores a lot of tries. Here you see him turning the ball over in true Armitage style. You just cannot get him off him. He's strong as a bull. But him against O'Brien, who's one of the best back rowers in the world, it's going to be a great battle. Yeah, great battle indeed. But there is a pressure on Matt O'Connor and Leinster. They lost to the Dragons last week. Pro 12 playoff qualification in doubt. And they were also lucky against Bath. How do you think they're going to face up to this Toulon side there? Well, what they want to do is they need to get off to a good start, really, and to put a bit of doubt in the Toulon's minds, because let's be honest, if Toulon get in front of you, there's such an hard team to break down. Whereas Leinster, you know, they come out of the blocks really hard, fast. They've got magicians like Madigan. This guy, you know, is such an exciting player. And they have to basically just chip away, trying to build up the score. Sometimes Toulon's discipline can be a little bit negative, and so they've got an excellent goal kicker of Leinster, so if they can just chip away, get up 6, 9, 12 points in front, then I'll put a doubt in Toulon's mind. Exciting game in store for that. On to Saturday then, Saracens against Clermont Auvergne. Billy Vunipola is free to play after being cleared of headbutting Matthew Tate. How important is that for them? Oh, absolutely vital. This guy's ferocious rugby player. He's got size, he's got power, and he's another guy who's very good at the breakdown. And you know, to break down this incredible Clermont team, who, let's be honest, in the quarter-final, watching them against Northampton Saints, it was like watching the All Blacks at the best. They were just incredible. But can they do it in a big game when they have to win? And this is a big game, because obviously last year Saracens absolutely demolished them in the semi-final. OK. Well, in terms of Brad Barrett, he'll come up against Jonathan Davis, your Wales centre, of course. Do you think he's going to be, you no doubt have a keen eye on him, but do you think he's going to be a key man in this game? Yes, I think both him and Fofana were absolutely incredible form. In the last game, which we spoke about against Northampton Saints. But this Brad Barrett is such a tough competitor. This kind of guy who probably doesn't get the headlines that much. You see Jonathan Davis breaking tackles for fun, as he can in a very dominant Clermont team. But Clermont, they're going into this game having been hammered last year in the semi-final by the same opponent. So is it going to be doubt, or is it going to be determination which comes to the fore in their minds? And that's why the start is absolutely vital, because against Saracens you don't want to be coming from behind against them, because they're such a good team. Once they get in front, a little bit like Ireland in the Six Nations, once they get in front, they're so hard to catch up. Yeah, they are indeed, absolutely. One name who's no doubt going to be on Stuart Lancaster's mind is Nick Bendon, and he's in brilliant form, isn't he? More metres than anyone in the competition, 716, beaten 28 defenders. How has his game improved so much? Well, he's always been fantastic in attack, hasn't Nick? Brilliant, you know, when he played for Bath. But probably the thing was questioned a little bit with him was his defence in the past. But let's be honest, he's playing in a team where he doesn't really have to do that much tackling now, because in front of him is such a good team. As you see, his pace, his swerve, his step, you know, it's always been unquestioned.
but playing in an incredible team like he is at the moment is really bringing out his attacking flair. But as I said, his defence has always been a question mark over him.
Yeah, so some really big games to look forward to. But let's move on to the Challenge Cup. Exeter play Gloucester. This also live on Sky on Saturday. Now, they were in the Championship 5 years ago. How big is this game in the context of their development overall?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Exeter are a team, I think they're a potential superpower of the English rugby. They have such a vast area to pick from. They're making massive signings. I mean, signing Jeff Perlin from Leicester Tigers for next season, that's a massive signing. And these are potential next, you know, what Wasp was, you know, 10 years ago, what Leicester became. They're a potential superpower. Now, in Gloucester, they're playing against a team who, very, very much like, how can I say, like Exeter, there's no football team in Gloucester, so the rugby players are the stars. So that's why it's such a massive, massive thing. It's a little bit like in Wigan or whatever. The big thing is rugby in Gloucester, and this is a massive game because, let's be honest, the season is pretty much on the line because you know, they're not going to really qualify for Europe.
Yeah, and it is a massive weekend of rugby ahead. As always, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.